Open your arms and hug. When you hug something or somewhere, it's yours. Now you have all the control over what occupies the space in between your arms, whether it's the wind, air, water, or land. The relationship of belonging is immediately formed with a simple gesture of enclosure. But what does it mean to belong? Not to some place, not to someone, just to belong. Can belonging exist without any owner? Can there be occupation without intervention? Can anything just be as it is? We need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. We need 12 hugs a day for growth. To be hugged is to occupy a field defined by another's reach. The circle becomes a measuring instrument, a way of mediating relations and marking the limits of inclusion. It demonstrates that belonging and control can emerge through movement and rotation, rather than walls or borders. A grower wakes up in the morning and activates the irrigation system they have built on their land. They give the start command from the control panel. 2 pipe spans of sprinklers start to rotate around the A-shaped pivot tower. The machine produces the rain that will fall, but this is controlled and determined rain. What was once passive land is now choreographed into a machine obedient to human command, rotating at the center of its own engineered forces. Land is now transformed from being an entity of its own into a product of perfect circles. Now it is not what it is. Now it belongs. When radius is 130 feet, spoke area is 1.2 acres, and required flow is 7.2 GPM. When radius is 520 feet, spoke area is 8.5 acres, and required flow is 51 GPM. When radius is 910 feet, spoke area is 15.8 acres, and required flow is 94.8 GPM. By applying formulas and structures to the land, we now control it. Now nature does not decide what mathematics says, but mathematics decides what nature becomes. In 1957, land surveying through circular movement came to encompass the entire planet and its atmosphere. Sputnik 1, sent into space by the Soviet Union, functioned as a technical system with 5 scientific objectives. To test the process of placing a human-made satellite into Earth orbit, to provide information about the density of the Earth's atmosphere, to test radio and optical methods for tracking an object in Earth orbit, to study the effects of radio wave propagation through the atmosphere, and to verify pressurization assumptions for artificial satellites. Land is no longer merely a physical surface or a portion of Earth's crust. Land now includes regions of space that we never physically touch. Yet still there, we still observe, track, and control. And this process does not end with obtaining a still image. Through repeated orbital paths, satellites establish dominance over the atmosphere, the Earth, and the land. We now knew when to listen. This is what an academic at the Applied Physics Laboratory said when Sputnik 1 was launched and the laboratory was receiving the satellite signals to understand the telemetry code. Orbital movement implies a rhythm, creating an authority over land. When does measurement become possession? Can measurement purely exist without implying any other act on the territory? Satellite orbits and irrigation machines do not merely observe nature. They reshape according to rules. Formulas on land means reduced uncertainty, predicting behavior, and erasing the dependence on weather, seasons, and time. Time is gone. The circle remains spatial technology, but its meaning is not fixed. It can be an instrument of domination or a framework for care. The difference lies not in its geometry, but in the movement. A hug can enclose without imprisoning. It is temporary. When to hold, when to release, and when to only listen.